Good morning, Merry Christmas, everybody. You cat lovers out there. Thank you so much, Sister T, for the $20 via Cash App. Thank you so much. Not expecting that. Very sweet of you. Extremely generous. Hope you're having a great day. How you feeling this morning? You too. I'll put it up on the list in a minute. I have to get out there and detox real fast. I'll be right back. I'm a little hungover today too. I guess I got hungover a little bit, a little queasy. Bleh. Oh, ain't because of food. I'm sorry. Pain. Well, shoot. Hopefully it doesn't hurt as much today. Hopefully it's not getting worse. We'll talk about it. If you want to, I'll be right back. No. No. Water, 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 water. Well, Tuck sure isn't eating much. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all. We're in Miss Fumble. Damn it. Dude, he's eating less and less every day. I don't know. I've read that when they have an injured paw, they might not eat. She made a noise before she did that, by the way. She went, "What?" And then she shut the door. Oh my god, my stomach is messed up right now. I don't see him, no. I just heard... What the heck? I just heard the meow sound command. Oh, we got a subscriber? Was that it? Did that just happen? I'm out of it today. Merry Christmas, everybody. I didn't want to get up, dude. I didn't want to get up this morning. I looked at the clock. My alarm hadn't went off, and it was 5:40. And I was like, "How can it be already? What is happening?" Alarm hadn't even went off yet. I set it for 5:50. Because my body knows time to get up. Jeez. Man, I would have felt so much better if Tux would have eaten. No, it would have made it all worth it. At least they ate. These two have eaten. They're eating. I had to get up for Simon anyway. I had to get up for Sweet Pea too. But I don't think I went to bed till like 1 or something. 1 something. Yeah, that's right. I'm pretty sure I got less than 4 hours of sleep. Right at 4 hours. New subscriber, hi, thank you, Maria. Maria? Where are you? Wildfire? I don't know how to say that. Oh, really? I was live until 1 something? Oh, jeez. Man. I thought I was live till 12 something. Yep, that'll do it. Morning, Brody. Oh, I'm just glad I didn't get a stronger bourbon, because I'd probably be feeling worse. I'd have gotten like a 55% or something. Merry Christmas, man. Aliens. All right. There's one explanation for Christmas, and it's aliens. She was inseminated by an alien. Okay? She was, Jesus had powers because he was the most alien human. That's how he had the powers. He had more alien DNA than the normal human. Baby, come on. Stop it. Please. Please, baby girl, please. I love you. Hanging out. We out together. Girl. Every time I look at the bowls, it makes me sad that Tux didn't eat. Man, I got a lot of pleasure out of eating Tux. Getting him full meals in. And this is sad. Next thing you know, Fluffy's gonna come eat all of it. Well, come in, Meow. What? Oh, buddy. What, buddy? Oh my goodness. He just came up flipping. Like, dude, you want to get ran over. Oh. Oh. Okay, bud. She's gonna shut the door any second now. She doesn't like open doors. She's institutionalized. She's like the opposite of a prisoner. Normally they're like, man, I don't like shut doors, man. She somehow likes them. She's grown accustomed to it. She's like, why you keep opening this thing, man? At night, it's the best time. It's nice and cozy. The wood door shut. Hey, what you eating? What you eating over there? And Mama too. You know, Mama's not, dude. Mama's not eating. Maybe they are, dude. Maybe they must be getting food somewhere else. And Mama's for sure getting food somewhere else. So he probably is too. There she goes. Dude. Maybe she thinks that closing it will make it open. Good morning, Nino. Hey, man, I was gonna ask you something about last night. I forgot what it was now. Dude. Yep, was it the clip? I don't know. I don't know what it was. I remember the clip. Oh, yeah, maybe. Where did you put it? Did you put it on Discord somewhere? There's a clips channel on there. Is that where? I didn't see it in there. Oh, I'll put it in there. I mean, you can put it in there too, but that'll give you credit for it. Fuck, it's not. I know where I can find it. I know why it's not. I'll find it here. I don't even remember what the clip is. I lost a sub, dude. I get a sub over here, but I lost a sub over on the other channel. I lose a sub every day over there, pretty much. I don't remember where to go to find my clips. Dang, how did I forget where to find the clips at? Used to be able to. I'm lost right now, dude. There used to be like a tab where I could go and look at all the clips from the channel. I don't remember where it's at. Oh. Well, do you have to go to each video individually to look at the clips? Possibly. I found it. Oh, there was the one before it too, though, right? Yeah, I got two people that were. I guess it wasn't as exciting as I thought. I was just super buzzed. Takes night out. Yeah, that's like the worst part of DXM is the stomach ache from it. I remember So I guess the promethazine I probably help with that. I never thought about taking it with it. Man, I would always be nauseating, queasy. Hey, that wrap it up dude spent like 2 hours in the stream. He's that guy that you went to his channel, Sister T. Last week he was on the Twitch rank for Discord as number 5 for number 4 for 2 hours 17 minutes. And Drip Set Cuz was there for 30 minutes. I didn't see him. We got Moments in Time at 29 hours 12 minutes. Sister T, second place, 14 hours 53 minutes. Ted Thomas is 6 hours and 43 minutes, top 3. And Wrap It Up Bro at 2 hours 17 minutes. Strip Set Cuz for 30 minutes. And Afoberty was 0 minutes. Apparently they popped in. I don't know who that is. Apparently we only had 6 viewers on Twitch for the entire week. But y'all didn't know there's a channel on Discord that does this automatically every week. It uploads the top 10 up times, I think, or top 10 watch times for the week. Weird. Somebody checked your stats from the server the other day on 21st. You wanna go? What's up, buddy? Well. Oh, you saw that. I don't recognize their name. This Hillman. They got a cat. They got a cat in their avatar, though. We got here food porn. Where's Michael C at, dude? I need to get him to move his post to the other channel. That's weird. A weird pet post, man. Could have kids go in there or something. I don't know. Some kid might come in here and, you know, like, what the hell? Damn, look at that pig. Who posted this? It's Bongle. Jeez. What's going on? What is going on? That's a big old piece of meat. Oh wow, and they got them cutting it up. Jeez. Was the skin all crispy? Like super crispy sounding? I bet it was delicious. Is that what's for dinner today? Nice. I've never had that before. I've seen it. It looks like candy almost. Pig candy. Shiny and crispy. I'm hungry early today. Probably should do my full breakfast. Get prepared for tonight. Do a real healthy breakfast. But I can have that sandwich for lunch. Has Royce completely stopped doing food reviews or what?
Merry
He did a movie, or he did one on a Red Ryder BB gun.
view are all of our historical artifacts. You know, historical artifacts like a geode that was from a museum gift shop or something. Just idiotic ideas. I'm like, oh sure, Eddie can get a jawbreaker for 25 cents, but my summer treat was a fudge round and a Royal Crown soda, which cost $1 total. Anyway, this is just
Lou in the house. We got Lou in the house. Yeah, it was a Christmas, Lou. How you feeling today? How you feeling, man?
Love and to love you. I'm still gonna go back to Iowa to visit my family, even though I had such a bad time last summer, because I love my grandma. I love my dad. I don't know. It's like I feel like I need a "it's complicated" banner for my relationship with my father. Then again, everyone's relationship.
I gotta pick up Simon's food. Gotta pick up the food. Back! Get back! Oh.
That's right.
Got here. Breaking news. Ed, look near me. Ed, look at me if you want the latest in breaking news. You Ed, look near me. And I'll look near you. Yeah. Free of charge. And if you don't know what that means, Ed, look near me. I'll tell you about it.
Good morning, everyone.
Just Ed, look near me. Don't be
That's
bashful.
right. The new law took effect on December 18, 2024, and the Kern County District Attorney's
I'm your
Office said
Huckleberry.
they have filed felony charges against a man under the new Proposition 36 law after he allegedly stole from the Target at the shops at Riverwalk and has a history of theft-related convictions. Kern County's first felony case under Prop 36 played out in court Monday. This man, Dustin Towery, and another man allegedly stole 2 electric scooters from the Target at the shops at Riverwalk earlier this month. The 2 electric scooters' combined value was $879. Until December 18th,
Sacramento.
that crime would have been considered a misdemeanor, but due to Prop 36, that's now a felony. The district attorney's office has found Towery and another man allegedly stole 2 electric. The 2 electric scooters' combined value was $879. Until December 18th, that crime would have been considered a misdemeanor, but due to Prop 36, that's now a felony. The district attorney's office has filed felony charges against Towery under Penal Code Section 666.1, one of the centerpiece laws under the newly passed Proposition 30.
Penal Code 666? Couldn't they have just skipped that one? I went to 667. Would you charge with Penal Code 666.1, man? What?
6.
It was just.
Had it been before the passage of
They
Prop
have to do that.
36, he would have been given, if caught, which he resisted arrest, but if caught, he would have been given a citation and a promise to appear. Except that there were many warrants for his arrest in this case for failure to appear. So I'm not exactly sure what would have happened on that case, but I can tell you now, because of the voters, this man is in custody and can't steal again, at least for a while.
It's an example Zimmer says that proves why the law is needed. Zimmer believes Towery is someone who has fallen through the cracks in the past, this being the latest run-in with the law.
He needs to learn how to shut his mouth.
He is alleged to have 6 prior theft-related convictions, ranging from 2018 to 2020. On Monday, Towery appeared before the judge, who denied his bail.
In this particular case, giving bail or even releasing somebody on their own recognizance, which he has been released many times on his own recognizance, was inappropriate because of the number of times he failed to appear. He just will not come to court on his own. And now with this new code section being passed, there is an emphasis that the magistrate review these charges and make a determination whether it is best for the public that he be held and also best for him that he stays in custody.
Towery will remain in custody. He is set to appear in court again on January 3rd. In studio, Salam Ledvinka, Eyewitness News.
Dude, that was actually a news station that I wasn't subbed to. Another one. Another one in the bucket. Soda companies push to keep products on food stamp list. I don't understand how they'd be able to take them off. It's a food. Like what? It's got calories. It can subsidize someone's calorie intake dramatically. But I mean, whatever. Like when I was a kid, I think like drinking sodas helped me to make better use of the protein that I was eating and stuff. Yeah, it did give me like a beer belly when I was a kid, probably. But I mean, it's like with bulking, you get fat when you bulk. But I mean, soda's an like if you're drinking big gulps every day, sure, but like even like bodybuilders eat a dextrose with creatine to help it absorb. And to like, for pre-workouts, oftentimes have sugar in them. Why? Like, I don't see how they would be able to keep people from buying soda with the food stamps when they can buy fucking caviar if they want to with it and just totally waste them, or lobster, or steaks. Or candy. You know, you can buy candy with them, I think, even. Candy bars and stuff. It's food. What are they going to do next? Tell people they can't buy candy with food stamps? Maybe they should, though. You can't buy beer with it. That's a food.
Have your name and date of birth?
Charles Smith.
In an MCSO orange jumpsuit, Charles Smith, who goes by Wolfie Coletti on social media, was in court for the second time in just a few days. Already arrested in Mesa over the weekend, where police say he took this can of bug and flea killer off the shelf at a Walmart and sprayed the pesticide on produce that was on sale for anyone to buy, all while filming the ad himself. The 7-year-old told officers he's a self-proclaimed troll and that he makes up to $10,000 a month posting those videos on social media. The court paperwork for the latest arrest is sealed, but as part of his release conditions, the judge told Smith he is not allowed to be on any social media, and he's not allowed to set foot inside any Bosa Donut shop. We reached out to Bosa Donut for comments, but have not heard back.
Do you have any questions for me?
I do. I have a pet at the house, and we live alone. And she hasn't been able to eat in like 6 days. I was wondering if I have any assets of going home and promising to return to court the next court date.
So you already have a bond in the other case, and so I can't control that bond.
In a statement Tuesday, the Maricopa County Attorney's Office says that its lawyers continue to review Smith's case.
That's one of the things that's kept me out of getting in trouble is the responsibility of taking care of these cats. Simon. Because when I got locked up the last time, man, that was the main thing that was like, oh my gosh, Simon. I've only been arrested one time since having him, and that was an eye-opener.
And that County Attorney Rachel Mitchell is particularly concerned because of the risk Smith created for the public and the possibility someone will try something similar to gain attention on social media.
What's the new charges,
The County Attorney's
dude?
Office also wants to remind people not to repost these types of prank videos on social media. Instead, report the videos to law enforcement. We'll continue to follow Smith's case and bring you updates both on air and online.
I didn't even hear what the new charges were. Whoa.
Yes, you are. Moofy the Goof. Moofy the Goof.
Why does she do this with...
Moosey the Goof. Moosey
Why does she do it...
Move
the voiceover?
Yep. Took the old cap off of the old glitter primer eyes. There is one eyeliner that I cannot find, and I don't know where I put it. The eyeliner I can't find is the cream gel liner in Swerve. I also used the BFF liquid liner in Numero Uno, which is that black liquid liner. And my usual for
Bro, him just shirtless all the time is something else.
I have no idea what my
Maybe he's
husband
doing
is
it to
doing
try
in
to
the
get her more
background.
views. He's got to be in the background with his titties hanging out.
Sky High mascara.
I don't know what's going on here. Well, that's interesting. I like the live streams better. 64 confirmed bird flu cases is leading to pandemic. Hanukkah starts on Christmas Day this year. But not. It doesn't happen all the time. Catholics, faithful cross holy door in the Vatican to receive indulgence. Bunch of weirdos.
Celebrate Christmas at the same time, and also the Jubilee of the Church.
It's like a release of emotions, like you feel like now you're able to let go and put everything in the hands of God. See, I'm getting emotional, and it's just a beautiful experience.
What? Lady, you're weird. It's just a building. I think it was made by Gad. Yeah. Gotta touch the door, man. Gotta touch the door for good luck. Jesus gives you good luck if you touch the door. Trump 100% serious about U.S. acquiring Panama Canal and Greenland.
President Trump is talking about taking control of the Panama Canal and buying Greenland from Denmark when he goes back to the White House. And that is not going over well with Panama and Greenland. Senior national correspondent Rich Edson with me here in New York. What's the latest on this, Rich?
Yeah, we weren't expecting to have this conversation, well, maybe not quite yet. President-elect Trump campaigned on major changes to U.S. foreign policy, but we weren't expecting to be discussing Panama and Greenland before the inauguration. Sources close to Trump tell the New York Post the president-elect is, quote, 100% serious about the United States acquiring the Panama Canal and the Danish territory of Greenland, meant to bolster American strategic interests in the great competition with China. The U.S. built the canal. A Carter-era treaty ceded it to Panama. Trump is now accusing Panama of charging exorbitant rates to pass through and claims China manages it. A Hong Kong-based firm controls 2 ports near the canal. The Panamanian President Jose Raul Molino said in a statement that, quote, every square meter of the Panama Canal and its adjacent area belong to Panama and will continue to be. We are a country open to dialogue today and always, to investments and good relations, but with a clear slogan that the country comes first. That, for this Panamanian president, is not negotiable. As for Greenland, an acquisition that massive would be larger than the 1803 Louisiana purchase, which nearly doubled the size of the U.S. then. Melting Arctic ice is opening up new shipping lanes in Greenland and competition for rare earth minerals there. Greenland is a self-governing, autonomous island within Denmark. Trump floated acquiring it his first term. Greenland's government rejected the idea then, and it does now. The Danish Prime Minister's office would only say that it is, quote, looking forward to working with the new administration. Another day, another story.
Yeah, I guess you can expect the Trump team to be coming up with a number and seeing if that is something that Greenland and Denmark would bite at.
It would have to take an opening offer.
Right? It would. I think it would. All right, Rich, thank you.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch
Sister T. Thanks so much, Sister T. On the board, you're officially on the board. Thank you so much for your generosity, contribution, keeping the dream alive. Thanks for just being here, though. Thanks for being here with us every day, holding it down as the main mod. The only mod. Thank you for all you do. We're in this together. I wish to do a notification that's not so. I didn't really set up stuff on this channel. A little cat notification or something, make it more festive. Fix it. Oh, not even Simon pop up. Oh man. I wish I had leftover pizza right now for some reason. Oh. Oh, ho, ho, you'll shoot your eye out. Yeah, I'm just a little hungover today. Oh. A Harnett County woman set on fire. Why are so many people being set on fire?
Is hard to accept, really, what has happened to this poor woman. The Harnett County Sheriff's Office is looking now for suspects, still looking for them after they say someone doused a woman in gasoline and set her on fire. This happened about a week ago. It was on Highway 27 in Harnett County. And only on WRAL, Gilbert Bays talked with the victim's mother, who is watching her daughter right now fight for her life.
Well, this happened on December 16th along Highway 27. The Harnett County Sheriff's Office is looking for suspects, and the mother of this child can't believe this has happened.
Why could you do this to my baby? You didn't have to do this to her.
Denisha Davis is talking about her 20-year-old daughter, Ashante Downing. Davis says her daughter told authorities that she was walking along Highway 27, headed for the Dollar General in Sanford when something...
Like, no matter what, she's fucked for life, dude. She's gonna be disfigured forever. That's sad. She's gonna probably have pain from the skin grafts forever.
Unbelievable happened.
We were told that she was leaving a grocery store and an unidentified male came up to her and doused gasoline on her and lit a cigarette and flicked it on her.
Her mother says she was taken to a local hospital in Sanford, then transferred to a burn center in Chapel Hill with third-degree burns over 70% of her body.
It's just a nightmare for this family.
Harnett County Sheriff Wayne Coates says this is one of the most heinous crimes his department has investigated.
It could have been a domestic related. It could have been a gang initiation. It's got us caught and we're mystified by what's happened.
While the sheriff searches for suspects and a motive, Downey's mother is looking for justice and praying for her daughter's recovery.
You heard it. Please, I want to tell the truth. You saw it.
This is an ongoing investigation. Harnett County Sheriff Wayne Coates says anyone with information that happened on that day is asked to give them a call. In Harnett County, Gilbert Bays,
I don't know which is worth, murdering somebody or doing that to them, because now they're going to suffer for the rest of their lives. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, ho. Low flying radiation detecting helicopters to fly over Las Vegas. That's from 4 days ago.
Shotgun choke. What is the use of a choke on a shotgun? A choke is designed to alter or shape the distribution of the shot as it leaves the firearm. To control this pellet pattern, shotgun barrels have a choke. The three most common types of chokes are full choke, modified choke, and improved cylinder choke. Full choke. This choke has a tight constriction and a dense pattern, commonly used for longer range. Modified choke. This choke has less constriction than a full choke. Modified choke produces a more open pattern. Improved cylinder choke. This choke is even less constricted than modified. Improved cylinder choke produces the most open pattern.
Choke tube. You gotta choke it up. Finland plans to open 300 new shooting ranges. Silver Crocs, a new mouse and keyboard. Alright, alright, alright. New mouse and keyboard, you know? Heck yeah. You have no excuse now, Mark. You know, before you used to say, it's my mouse, man. I'm sorry, couldn't get in. My keyboard's acting up. It's gonna be your excuse now, Mark. I'm about to start docking you. The dough. At the time that you're not here, I'm just gonna have to start docking you, dude. Especially now that I know that you got new stuff, and I don't have new stuff. That's just not fair, Mark. So we'll be seeing a lot more of Mark, guys. So that's cool. That's really cool. Missing my Mark Hopper time. Where is all the Christmas news? What kind did you get anyway? I got a Corsair keyboard with a Razer. Good for bigger hands. Steel Series stuff's good too. You put the speakers in a white score. Nice. Were they blown? Over here, Simon. Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas. Ooh, how are you? Baby girl. Oh, it's baby boy. Baby boy. Simon slept next. He didn't sleep next to my head at night. NASA officially touches the sun.
Well, NASA officially touching the sun this morning with its Park Solar Probe flying a little under 4 million miles of the sun's surface. What could this tell us? Let's bring in Leroy Chow, former NASA astronaut and International Space Station commander. Leroy, thank you so much for joining us today. Merry Christmas to you. This is very exciting. This happened this morning, and this is being called historic. It's like 50 years in the making. Tell us a little more about it.
Sure. Great to be on. Merry Christmas to everyone there. Yes, this is a first on many levels. It approached the sun at a record speed of around 430 million miles per hour, or 430,000 miles per hour, which is the fastest probe that we've ever launched. It also came, as you said, within 3.8 million miles of the sun's surface. That sounds like a big distance, but if you take the distance from the Earth to the sun and compare that to a football field, you'd be about on the 4-yard line, right? So it's pretty close. So this is historic because
we touched it.
We're studying the sun during what's called solar maximum. The sun goes through a cycle
Millions of miles
years.
away. That's
solar
crazy.
minimum happened about 11 years ago. This probe was launched in 2018, and so it's been able to study the transition from min to max. And it's the scientists are hoping that it'll actually experience a solar flare during its approach, and we can learn a whole lot more about how the dynamics of the sun work.
Yeah, you mentioned those very hot temperatures, but I just want to put the numbers up on the screen so our audience can see. So the flyby, again, occurred at 6:53 a.m., 430,000 miles per hour, and the craft faced temperatures between 1,700 and 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit, flying 3.8 million miles within the sun's surface, but you say that is less than a football field's length, so that is pretty darn close. And Leroy, just tell us, what are some of the things that we are hoping to learn from this? I understand we're learning about
that's not what he said, you
heating,
weirdo.
solar wind. What else can we learn, and why is it
You said that
important?
the whole
What can we
distance
take
from
away
Earth to the
all of
sun
this?
was a football field. We'd be at the 4-yard
The sun
line.
is a very dynamic system. The
So it'd be 4
sunspots are an
yards.
indicator, or seem to be a pretty good indicator of when there were going to be solar flares and
4%.
mass ejections. And so this is a chance to study those phenomena up close and, further develop our understanding of what we call space weather. Space weather is the interaction of the sun and the particles, charged particles, with our magnetosphere and the Earth. And so this is going to help us really understand better about those kinds of things that are important for space travel, for our satellites out there. A big solar flare, coronal mass ejection, can definitely negatively affect satellites, power systems here on the ground. And so we'll hopefully, the practical side of this, hopefully we'll be able to better predict when some of these things are going to happen.
Wow. Okay, so a lot to learn there. Leroy Chow, former NASA astronaut, thank you so
Leroy.
much for your time today. Merry Christmas to you.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News
Leroy,
YouTube
it's
page to catch our hottest interviews and most.
Leroy Chow. His parents really wanted him to be American.
The only Michigan man on death row will no longer be facing execution. President Joe Biden commuted the death sentences of more than 36 federal prisoners.
No one seems to be happy about this situation. All the comments are pissed off. I watched a few of these.
Her father says he had prepared himself to attend that execution.
We thought the timing was despicable.
How so?
We felt that President Biden could have waited until after the holidays.
Though he says he's not opposed to the commutation itself, Rachel Timmerman's father, Tim Timmerman, says the U.S. Attorney's Office in Grand Rapids called him Sunday night to tell him that Biden had commuted Gabriel's death sentence, which means Gabriel will serve life with no chance of freedom.
I offered to speak with you today because I'm a family of a victim, and I think President Biden offered a Christmas gift to the perpetrators of murder, but he offered only pain to the victims of the families of the families of the victims.
Biden says commutations were consistent with his administration's moratorium on federal executions in cases other than terrorism and hate-motivated mass murder. He issued the commutations just weeks before President-elect Donald Trump, an outspoken proponent of expanding capital punishment, takes office.
Can you imagine anyone who deserves it more than Marvin Gabriel?
No one. You couldn't imagine someone that deserved it more than Mr. Gabriel. He killed at least 5 people. Where's the justice in just giving him a prison bed to die comfortably in?
Gabriel was convicted of killing Timmerman in 1997, throwing her into a lake weighted down and alive to keep her from testifying against him in a rape trial. Her body surfaced in Oxford Lake in the Manistee National Forest, giving the federal government jurisdiction in the case. The Michigan Constitution banned the death penalty in 1847. And the body of Rachel's 11-month-old daughter Shannon was never recovered, despite repeated searches of the lake.
From the get-go, we offered to trade the death penalty for information regarding my granddaughter. We offered that from the very get-go. Gabriel was unwilling to tell us what he did with Shannon. So that's always remained an open hole in our heart. I think we've accepted that we're not going to see Shannon again. We've accepted that. So that bargaining chip is really irrelevant. Okay. So, no.
Do you think she's in that lake?
That would be my best guess. Yeah. Absolutely.
Timmerman, who co-authored a book on the case, says he'd accepted, even before the commutation, that Gabriel would likely die a natural death in prison. Gabriel is now 71.
Actually, I never really felt that Gabriel would be put to death by the federal government. We felt that the best case, he would be locked in a very small cage and not allowed to hurt anyone else. That was our best case scenario.
Rachel would be 46, Shannon would be 28, probably spending Christmas at Grandpa's home in northern Kent County.
It's just crazy. It's hard to believe that many years have gone past and it's still an open wound.
Gabriel is serving his sentence at the Medical Center for Federal Prisoners in Springfield, Missouri. Scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen right there, and that will take you to a more in-depth look at the details of this case.
Stop looking at me, lady. Jeez. I do it. Bird flu reaches zoos, further threatening endangered species. New Zealand's rightward shift ignites a mass protest from indigenous people. Uh, 85,000 Hezbollah weapons seized in southern Lebanon. Wow, there's imagery of it. So when are we going to replenish them with brand new American stuff? Is that all American?
It was just a matter of time before the armed forces of Ukraine notched another robotic warfare historical moment. For the first time since mankind first went to war, an all-unmanned ground attack team took on and completed a mission. The operation took place near the village of Liptsy in Ukraine's Kharkiv region. Ukraine's Kartia Brigade from the country's National Guard conducted the strike using dozens of robotic systems kitted out in various ways. First-person view, or FPV drones, provided aerial views of the battlefield, while unmanned ground vehicles took care of things, well, on the ground. Some of the UGVs cleared mines, while others laid mines. Some UGVs were armed with machine guns and provided covering fire. A spokesperson with the Kartia Brigade said the attack successfully eliminated Russian positions without the involvement of infantry. The Institute for the Study of War said the operation marked a significant milestone in Ukraine's use of advanced military tech. And it also highlights the lengths Ukraine is going to in order to deal with its lack of manpower. From the outset of the war almost 3 years ago, Ukraine faced a huge deficit in munitions and manpower. So, by necessity, it's used unmanned systems in all sorts of creative ways to conduct its asymmetric warfare against Russia. Whether it be Dragon's Breath drones dropping thermite on Russian positions and burning out tree lines, or Sea Baby drones, which can attack everything from helicopters to fighter jets to dismounted soldiers on oil rigs. Like we said, it was just a matter of time, really, before an all-unmanned ground assault unit was formed and deployed. What's next for Ukraine's army of drones? Well, the General Staff of Ukraine just announced it completed trials of an aerial drone that operates on fiber optic cables, making it much more resistant to the effects of electronic warfare. I'm Ryan Robertson, and if you like stories like this, be sure to like and subscribe to all of our social media feeds. You can also download the Straight Arrow News app today or log on to san.com.
Pakistan is trying to develop long-range ballistic missiles that could one day hit the United States. The Biden administration says this is obviously very concerning, so it's releasing some intelligence about the program and putting some new sanctions in place on groups linked to it. Still, there are plenty of questions remaining about the implications for regional stability and U.S.-Pakistani relations. Deputy National Security Advisor John Feiner describes the situation as an emerging threat to the United States, citing Pakistan's work on advanced missile systems and testing equipment for larger rocket motors. The White House says it's disclosing the intelligence about Pakistan's activities only after diplomatic efforts to address its concerns failed. Officials say Pakistan isn't giving an explanation as to why it's pursuing this capability. Feiner says the list of countries with nuclear weapons and long-range missile capabilities targeting the U.S. is small and adversarial, making Pakistan's actions particularly concerning. The U.S. is imposing sanctions on Pakistan's state-owned National Development Complex, which oversees missile development, including the Shaheen ballistic missile program. The State Department is also targeting 3 Pakistani companies in Karachi and Chinese entities supporting Pakistan's missile efforts. Pakistan's government is denying the U.S.'s claims, calling them unfounded and aimed at hindering its ability to defend against India. Some analysts suggest Pakistan is trying to develop long-range missiles in order to deter the U.S. from getting involved in any future conflict with India. Another theory is Pakistan wants to complicate efforts to disarm its nuclear arsenal. Early estimates say Pakistan could develop missiles capable of reaching the United States in about a decade. But the White House is stressing the need to act now in order to prevent further progress. Relations between the U.S. and Pakistan became strained in recent years, partly due to Washington's closer ties with India and Islamabad's growing alignment with China. For more of our unbiased, straight-fact reporting,
why wouldn't we be more aligned with India?
Log on to
They're
san.com.
a much larger country than Pakistan. The hell? And Pakistan's known for harboring terrorists from Afghanistan. Tennessee bill could fine law enforcement if migrants aren't reported. Well then.
Now at 6, a driver slamming into car after car in the middle of the afternoon, and it was all caught on camera. Thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Yolanda Harris. 10 TV's Colin Dorsey was there just 2 hours after it happened this morning and has a look at the damage left behind.
Damage like this isn't something you want to wake up to on Christmas Eve, but it's something that several people walked out of their apartments to find this morning. Go down Sullivan's Avenue and you'll find car after car ran into this morning right around 10 o'clock.
This morning, residents seeing the video of a driver hitting their cars for the first time. The driver of the red car going from one car to another.
What sounded like a dump truck. It sounded like, when they pick up the dumpsters, and I was like, that's weird. And I was napping, so I looked, and there's just this car just going back and forth down the street, hitting stuff.
Austin Renner saw it all from his balcony.
And he started way down there, and he came all the way down, just kept, front ending and backing up. It's just like, this is crazy. I can't believe this is happening.
Frustrating.
Yeah, not the best.
Mason Moore was greeted with this. His black Chevy Malibu with the front end all crushed up and pushed into the Mercedes behind it. Unfortunately for him, it's not the first time he's lost a parked car to the streets of Columbus.
2 other times when I went to Ohio State, my car was parked on 4th Street both times and got wrecked into twice. Yeah, both cars got totaled.
Taking a look down the street,
dude, I've had that happen to my car.
Pushed up onto the sidewalk.
I had an old Ford Escort wagon that got fucking hit, parked on the side of the road. You always see it here in Long Beach.
Damaged and the front passenger wheel broken off.
Sold to
a Genesis G80 with a crunched-up bumper and a blue Honda Civic, the final casualty in this unwilling game of bumper cars. In all, I counted 8 vehicles from this Subaru to that Civic that took a blow from this morning's driver.
Very frustrated, to be honest.
Thomas Shee has lived in the apartments for 6 months, and he ran down as soon as he got the email from the leasing office.
And it's not the first time it happened to me.
He's still trying to catch bugs. He's chasing bugs in the yard next door.
His last car stolen from the streets. This Mercedes belongs to his friend. It's pushed to the curb with its wheel bent.
Now, all the owners of these vehicles say they've filed their claims, but with it being the holidays, it'll take some time. Also, Columbus police have arrested that driver. In Columbus, Colin Dorsey, 10 TV News.
Well, we reached out to police following the arrest, asking if charges were filed and if a motive was found. So far, they have not responded.
Hanging out a lot on their front porch. This paw is really hurting him, though. Oh, he's looking for stuff in the grass for some reason. He doesn't like fancy beasts anymore. He likes crickets. Oh, he's taking a shit in their yard. Down the sidewalk. I think Simon's in pain, and that's why he's licking all his hair off his legs. Sorry, buddy. Oh. What happened? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think that's why it's gotten worse since she's been here, because she's always jumping on his back and they're always playing. Like he didn't always have her jumping on, I don't know, he was able to be an old man cat. Now he's always running around and shit. It's fucking him up. All the news agencies took the day off today. All that coming. He's like, why is all this food here? Really going on? Is this a setup? Oh yeah, she's getting comfortable too. And it's gonna make sure nobody wants this. I'm here, about to eat it. Hope you're not gonna end. Fast cat in the neighborhood.
Korea, they even brought aircraft carrier Enterprise. They make us surrender by force of arms. At the time, they said they would start another Korean war if we didn't return the ship and the Pueblo sailors. But following the instruction of the great leader Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, we responded that we would answer their retaliation with retaliation and answer their all-out war with an all-out war. We didn't surrender, but we took tough stance. So in the long run, they had no choice but to propose dialogue. So 11 months after the capture, the U.S. government sent a letter of apology. That was December 1968. And that apology was the first one that they ever sent to the other government in the history of America. So following that, all sailors were sent back to the country. 82 exactly. One was sent back dead, and the rest of them were sent back alive. But we didn't send the ship because that is our war trophy. Okay, let's continue here.
You should just say that.
They didn't send the ship back? That's a war trophy? Interesting. It was filmed in Korea, North Korea. Bamboozled. Oh, she's going in heavy. Oh, she's not going. What the hell is wrong with the fancy feast lately, man? Dude. She's going in for the ziwi though, with the extra gravy. It's more expensive than the fancy feast anyway.
During the wartime?
These are all captured military vehicles from Korean War.
During the wartime, our pilots made the hangars for bombs under the airplane and bombed against the enemy in more than 187 times of battles. And there, the torpedo boat. Do you remember I've already mentioned that our Navy sank the enemy's heavy cruiser Baltimore on the Sea of Jumanji? Do you remember it? That is I'm sorry. That is one of them, one of 4 torpedo boats. On the 2nd of July 1950, our Navy, with only 4 torpedo boats, sank the enemy's heavy cruiser Baltimore and damaged the light cruiser on the Sea of Jumanji. That torpedo boat weighs only 17 tons, but the enemy's Baltimore weighed more than 17,000 tons, so it was 1,000 times larger.
Interesting. I don't think I'll ever be going to North Korea, so shout out to that guy for making the video for me. He only has 638 subs.
This is a Korean encyclopedia.
Look at
Whoa.
this. Can you look up? Oh,
I think it's a
be
game.
careful. It has a mosquito repellent.
What? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, mosquito plant.
Where?
Yeah,
But how does that
this
work?
One. It has. Oh, where is it?
The sound?
That one. Oh, this one.
Yeah. Does it work?
Yeah, electronic mosquito.
It's also a human repellent.
Does it work? Is it?
That's, I don't know.
Fascinating.
Nice. I don't know.
Can we keep it on for the rest of the week and see if we get bit?
Oh my god.
We need to do a control test. Yeah, I need to get some mosquitoes. You to get a jar. You to get a notepad.
I'll get bitten.
How weird.
Okay, I think we had enough. Are you supposed to sleep with this?
Yeah.
Amazing. What else do you have there?
What type of phone is this? This is Arirang.
Is it made in North Korea?
I want someone to sample this and make it into.
No,
Yeah,
that's-
made in Korea. This has Korean brand, Arida.
Actually, it does.
It's an Android model.
Oh, okay. Tomorrow, can we
Yeah,
record that
that's Android
noise
software.
so at least can
Yeah,
sample
it
it?
is.
Most of their smartphones are on
Yeah.
Android.
She would love. Okay, she would love that.
Do they have no?
That'd be so great.
I think they have 어디 있던가 설정.
Wait, can you launch the Google Docs one?
Do they have? 여기 있던가? Do they have Android? Yeah, it says Android system.
Yeah, the software is Android.
Go to About Android.
4.2. And it's MediaTek.
Wait, it's a MediaTek.
Yeah. 6589.
Interesting.
That's not too bad. Anyways.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, they also have
Can you launch the triangle
wait,
one?
can you launch the
Yeah, it's
the
like
gaming, the hidden
Will
whatever
you take
is
a
in this
photo?
version?
Let me make it English.
Oh,
So that you
yes.
can-
They modded this.
They normally
이거던가?
either keep it or they put something else.
No, it was
Maybe you find the original
reverberation in my ear.
No.
Yeah, it wasn't the touch of my shoulder. Yeah. I have really
Well, in English land. Go to that icon. Can you click on the?
sensitive ears.
I want to see the Google icon. Yeah, theme.
Oh, it's a theme.
The thing changed.
Oh, I see.
It's just the
That's
icon.
hilarious. But it's Google Drive. Solid.
It is.
Theme.
Copyright for the win.
What kind of thing? We're not gonna tell.
Nerds. Dude, I used to stream on Africa TV, remember? And then it got weird. It got hard to do it. I think they were trying to keep foreigners off of it. Africa.
National flag in front of the enemy's capital building at the time. The original tent attending the battle. Okay, I think, can I have his name?
Andre.
Sorry, yeah.
She's.
Can I have a name, please?
My name? Andre.
Matt.
Andre.
And Andre, okay. Now it's time to go to City Pueblo, okay?
Okay.
Okay, here please, we go back to City Pueblo.
As we would say in elementary school, ooh.
I still mine too, Lou. They made it hard to stream, but I can't get it in English like I used to for some reason.
The North Koreans, this sub, took out apparently a U.S. warship 1,000 times its size, and our military tour guide just said that it was nothing short of a miracle accomplished by all of the dedication of the North Korean soldiers. Awesome.
She didn't need mine's phone. Thought she didn't need more. I mean, come on, bro. I need my lap. Ow. Ow. I mean. But you're getting heavier now. Get that again. Maybe.
Let's bring in O'Leary Ventures Chairman, Shark Tank investor Kevin O'Leary. Kevin, don't you love this? I mean, he does start with these totally wild ideas, although when you really think about them, I mean, the Panama Canal Treaty, I remember when it was debated, Ronald Reagan debated with Bill Buckley about it and so forth. It is a contract. And it is a contract that has been broken literally thousands of times by the government of Panama, and China wants to get its greedy hands on it. What do you think the possibility is of Donald Trump coming in and say, hey, look, you guys broke your contract, it's ours?
Well, I think we know it's 100% probability that's going to happen, but Trump is a transactional guy. He's a negotiator. I think everybody understands that now, there's no doubt. And he picks his fights one at a time. Last week it was Canada, now it's Panama, and wow, we got Greenland on this list too. So, I mean, look, it's a very interesting way to start governing before you're actually the president. You do it by social media, you wake everybody up, they come flying to Mar-a-Lago. It makes sense to me. I don't see any reason why you can't do it. But the China thing in Panama is an issue, because if that was in any way affected and we didn't get access, that's a money saver for shipping in a very big way. So my guess is an envoy goes down there sometime in February and they start squeezing Panamanian heads to get a new deal.
By the way, your microphone is crackling a little. Just give it a little tug or something, just on your microphone there. I think it's It's there. I think you got it. The difference between Canada and China is monumental. I mean, Trudeau came into the U.S., bowed at the feet of Donald Trump, and folded like a cheap suit. I don't sense the same kind of reaction coming from Xi. What's going to happen with Xi? They're going to play hardball. It is going to be hardball between the two presidents. We know that Xi wants to become number one by knocking us down, whether it's legally through more trade or illegally through things like fentanyl and everything. He's been trying to do that for years. We know that's his MO. How do you think Trump is going to respond to that? I mean, I suspect it'll be like we saw in the first term, where he comes in strong with these new tariffs, don't you?
China's a different issue completely to Canada or any other country. The only way, you've got to remember, since 1999, since they came into the World Trade Organization, they have broken the rules with every country, including the U.S., every year. I'm an individual who does business there. My businesses have been absolutely screwed. I've said it countless times. They don't play by the rules. There's nothing reciprocal in our relations. The only way to make it work with the supreme leader, as I like to call him, is to inflict massive economic pain and risk on him by imposing tariffs on sectors where many Chinese people are employed. I have nothing against Chinese people. I have a lot against their government. And the only way to put him at risk is to say, look, if you want to mess with the largest economy you trade with, then we're going to force a lot of people that make yoga mats or electronics or whatever else it is to be unemployed in your cities. They'll be rioting in the streets, they won't have any bread, and you will be out of power. That is the only way it's going to work. So very selected, high-impact weaponry, like tariffs, but you've got to be hardcore. He only understands the stick. That's all he understands. Any weakness at all, he plays off, and he has done so for years. Yeah. So I'm hoping this is the administration that fixes the problem. I have really been hurt by China, and there are millions of other businesses in America that are the same boat I'm in.
Absolutely. By the way, you mentioned the World Trade Organization. They still designate China as a developing nation. What that entitles China to are all these sweetheart loans that we partially pay for through the WTO, adding up to billions of extra dollars for the Chinese. Should Trump try to eliminate that designation of developing nation for China?
They're not a developing nation. Exactly. They're in an economic war with us and many European countries. That's got to get fixed. All that stuff has to get fixed. 40 years of getting screwed. That's what's happened.
And 40 years, by the way, of getting benefits that they don't deserve. And the Euros have gone right in there. And when there's a Democrat in the White House, they go right along. But I think it's going to be different now. Very quickly, the SEC, as we were just talking about in the previous segment, is going to change dramatically under Donald Trump. Paul Atkins is a big free market guy, unlike his predecessor. So what are you expecting in terms of opportunities that we couldn't see in the United States because the SEC played such a tough cop role that we won't see during the Trump administration? What more opportunities will exist?
They'll exist because decisions will be made, particularly in the crypto and digital payment systems markets, where we should be leading worldwide and we're falling behind because we can't make up our minds. Listen, Gensler had a point of view that everybody understood. He just litigated his way into the courts on it. We need to get some decisions so that firms like mine can be compliant. We want to play by the rules as we do in every other market, the debt, the equity, the options market. Just tell us what the rules are. Yeah. That's all we need to know. And once that's put in place, you will see an orderly transition into bringing crypto into the overall economic institutional infrastructure. That's what we want.
Good stuff. Kevin, thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful new year. If I don't see you, appreciate you coming on.
Oh shit, crossback. That's good. Christmas milk across. That's fitting. Sorry, y'all. If you weren't a dough show, I got 4 hours of sleep last night. And I drank. So the sleep probably wasn't very good. Simon's making me more sleepy too, because he's sleeping on my lap. Sleepy's sleeping up there. Heat's on me. And the heat is on. Da-na-na-na, 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 da-na-na-na-na. The heat is on. The heat is on. In the streets. Something like that. The heat is on. Does it? Always some more.
The heat is on the street. Just to stay alive, caught up in the action. I'll be looking out for you. Oh, it's on the street. The heat is on.
Beverly Hills Cop. Oh, shit's on right here. Okay. Oh, how'd your homemade eggnog go? Like a 101. Like a 101. Please.
Let's welcome to the show here Robert Atkinson, the founder and president of the Information Technology and Innovation Foundation. So first, can you describe for us the importance of this technology and what displays would be affected?
I'm looking at a display right now. I have a display in my car. We have displays in tanks, airplanes. We have displays in phones, displays in our living room. Displays are everywhere. They're ubiquitous. The Chinese have already taken over the LCD market globally, and now they're going after the higher-end OLED market, where Samsung and LG are doing okay. Do we really want that to happen? Do we want them to eliminate and kill those companies? The U.S. would be in tough shape if that happened.
So the Chinese heavily subsidized BOE, and it's grown in market share from 1% of global displays to now 51% of global displays, and that's happened in a 10-year period. What could happen if the U.S. has to rely on China for these displays?
Oh, baby girl, I think it's a girl.
I'll tell you what happens if we ever get in a kinetic conflict. Good luck on getting any more displays imported to the U.S.
She gets pregnant again, man.
Number two is they just have
gosh.
so much leverage over us, and they could raise prices dramatically. They could get in a spat with us, and they could say, hey, by the way, if you don't do what we want, we're not going to sell you displays. No more iPhones. This is a big, big deal. We cannot be dependent upon China for such an important core technology. And the U.S. International Trade Commission has already ruled that they have stolen intellectual property from Samsung. This isn't in debate. It's already been agreed upon. Everybody knows that.
So, put it directly, if BOE runs Samsung out of the display business, what would it mean if we ever come to a conflict then with China?
No, we'd have to look out the window on airplanes because we wouldn't have displays. Once we wouldn't have the ability to buy new displays, or it'd be a lot harder to buy new displays. Let's put it that way. This is an important technology. As I said, it's a cross-cutting technology. It goes into so much of our daily life, so much in commercial life, and in military life.
So, Robert, in about 10, I want to get this in 10 seconds because we're running out of the show here. What do you think the Trump administration needs to do?
They need to do two things. Number one, that you need to tell the ITC to rule in favor of Samsung and have a 10-year exclusion order on BOE. They need to change the law in Congress so that you don't have this ridiculous rule that if there's no harm directly in the U.S. that you can't win the case. That rule needs to change. It's long overdue.
Robert Atkinson, I appreciate it. Thank you for bringing light to this important story. Appreciate it.
The heat is on.
¿Qué pasa si tú vas a la cárcel y no estás aquí con permiso en este país?
They can deport me.
Right. Genaro Cervantes, how do you spell your last name? C-E-R. Okay, so there's only one E.
Solamente una E. Solamente una E, C-E-R. Yes.
We need to do it. Okay, they have it misspelled, that's why. Mr. Cervantes, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. It's elevated to a Class A misdemeanor because of the high blow. You were facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Yes, Judge. Officers were dispatched to a two-vehicle accident in Harris County, Texas. The defendant ran a red light and struck the back quarter panel of another vehicle. Both drivers pulled into a nearby gas station, and when officers arrived, they noticed the defendant had a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, glassy eyes, and was staggering while walking. The defendant admitted to drinking 5, 6, or 7 beers, and standard field sobriety tests were conducted. HGN was 6 out of 6, and the officer stated that the defendant only spoke Spanish, and the remaining standard field sobriety tests were not conducted. The DIC was read, and the defendant consented to arrest. The results were .190 and .190.
Ready to be honest?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Cervantes, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Tell me, are you a United States citizen?
No.
Are you in this country with or without permission? You are without permission in this country? What happens if you go to jail?
Since 30 years ago. ¿Qué pasa si usted va a la cárcel? ¿Qué pasa si usted va a la cárcel? I don't know. Piense.
Are you in this country?
I don't know, I might be deported.
Permission.
¿Está en el país con o sin permiso? Without.
I'm trying to get you to put 1 and 1 together, Mr. Cervantes. Are you in this country with or without permission?
¿Está en el país con o sin permiso? Without permission, I don't have permission.
So what happens if you go to jail?
Excuse me?
¿Qué pasa si tú vas a la cárcel y no estás aquí con permiso en este país?
They can deport me.
Right. That's what I want you to understand.
I understand that. Eso es lo que usted necesita entender.
Sí, por eso.
Yes, that's right.
Yo estoy consciente de eso.
I am aware of that.
Do you have any clue how long you will sit in jail?
¿Tiene alguna pista de cuánto tiempo estaría sentado con una inmigración antes de que lo deporten?
No, no sé.
No, I don't know.
6 to 9 months, if you're lucky.
Si tiene suerte.
You will sit in jail, waiting for them. First, you finish this case, then you get shipped off at immigration, and nothing fast happens over there. The backup is unreal.
Están bien atrasados.
So what I want you to understand is that I'm putting conditions on your bond now. And if you violate these conditions, I will put you in jail. And if you're unlucky enough, which happens every single day, immigration will get their claws on you, and then you'll be stuck like Chuck in custody for the next year. So when you're out there in my public, make wise decisions. The first one is do not drive. I'm making that a condition of your bond. You are not allowed to drive, and I don't care what you have to do, where you have to go, who you have to haul. If I find that you drive, you will go to jail. The next, you will be signing a promise with me today as well. This is an affidavit that you're going to sign with me today, promising me you're not going to drive. The next thing is you're ordered not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to randomly test you.
Well, they need this guy in Ohio.
Alcohol or drugs, likewise, you will go to jail. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have been here for 30 years. It would really be a shame now to put you in jail and have you deported after all that time. But I'm going to tell you now that I will do everything in my power to protect the public. And I don't care if you're kicking and screaming when we haul you to jail. When I mean no driving and when I mean no alcohol, I absolutely mean it. And I don't care what the source of your positive blows are, but if I find that you're consuming, you will stay with me.
That's fine.
I will have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. After that, I will get you to Victoria, where you're going to have you sign a reset. After that, you'll get with Rachel for your bond conditions, and then you'll be free to go. I want you to understand that this is the only warning that you will get from me. There will be no more. So I hope that you heed it.
I've never seen a judge wearing a suit like that either. Without the gown.
I put some lube on and got him on his knees, and I began to slide into him from behind. I pulled out of him and kissed him while he masturbated.
What the fuck, man?
He asked me to turn over while he slipped a condom on himself.
What is that?
This was my ass, and I was struggling to imagine someone inside me. He got on top and slowly inserted himself into
This has to be a kid's book or something he's reading from that's in school libraries.
me. It was the worst pain I think I have ever felt in my life. Eventually, I felt a mix of pleasure with the pain. Close quote. All boys aren't blue. I got a new strap-on harness today. I can't wait to put it on you. It will fit my favorite dildo perfectly. You're going to look so hot. I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life.
Dude, I can't believe he was willing to say all this stuff, to have it out there with his, like, how AI can use it.
Then I want you inside of me. End quote.
Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
He's hardcore.
I confess I'm a little confused.
Well, I think he's like one of the best.
The argument our discussion that we've been having, but for me, it's a little too conceptual, or I don't know, metaphysical or theological or whatever you want to call it. I want to try to understand what you're asking us to do. Let's take two books that have been much discussed. The first one is called All Boys Aren't Blue, and I will quote from it. I put some lube on and got him on his knees.
You already quoted this.
And I began to slide into him. He asked me to slowly, in this book, I'm sure you're familiar with it, it's called Genderqueer. Okay? Let me read an excerpt from that. Quote, I got a new strap. You're going to look so hot. I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me. End quote. Now, Mr. Secretary, what are you asking us to do? Are you suggesting that only librarians should decide whether the two books that I just referenced should be available to kids? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay. Tell me what you're saying.
Well, first of all, there's this.
Don't give me a speech. Tell me what you're asking me to do.
With all due respect, Senator, the words you spoke are disturbing, especially coming out of your mouth is very disturbing. But what I would also tell you that we're not advocating for kids to read porn, to Senator Booker's point.
What are you advocating for?
We are advocating for parents, random parents, not to have the ability, under the guise of keeping kids safe, to try and challenge the world view of every single manner on these issues.
You're getting conceptual again.
I'm not getting conceptual. I'm saying
yes, you are. Yes, you are. Because I want to know what you're recommending. It sounds to me like what some of you are saying, the librarians should decide who gets to see that book.
I'm saying when individual parents are allowed to make a decision of where that line is, and To Kill a Mockingbird, which involves a rape scene, should that book be pulled from our libraries? I think it becomes a slippery slope.
I think you ought to think about it a little bit more before you come here.
I've thought about it, Senator.
If you're going to propose something, you ought to be able, in 30 seconds, to be able to explain what you're asking us to do. Ms. Kelly, what do you understand? Well, let me skip you for a second. Mr. Cameron, tell me what you're proposing.
It's pronounced mix.
Mix? Is that how would you like me to refer to you?
Senator, your definition of sexual is synonymous with LGBTQ identity.
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you to tell me you read those two excerpts.
Genderqueer.
Do you think that, are you asking that only librarians and not parents have any say in whether minors can read those books? Is that what you're saying?
Genderqueer has never been in my school library, so it's never been banned.
Well, suppose it was. Should it be up just to the librarian, or should parents have a say?
There should be facilitation of collaboration between students,
parents have
and
a say?
Parents should be working with students and educators to be making decisions, because students are.
And who decides ultimately, the librarian, or do you take a vote, or who takes the vote?
Book review committees in the community in my school district.
You want a committee to decide?
There are committees.
Okay. Well, I'm asking you, how do we decide whether the two books that I just referenced should be available in the library? What would you, if you were running things, what would you do?
All Boys Aren't Blue, the scene you mentioned, is about sexual abuse.
I know what it's about.
It's not
What
erotic.
would you do in terms of making the books available? Would you say anybody can see them, or they have to be in a special session?
Students who do not read books like All Boys Aren't Blue cannot learn what is appropriate.
I understand that.
They cannot learn.
I understand, but none of you want to answer my question. You come here and you say censorship is bad, and of course it's bad. But the obvious response is, okay, you heard the books we're talking about. Okay, we're not talking about Catcher in the Rye. So tell me what you want, who gets to decide. And all I've heard is the librarians. And parents have nothing to do with it. And if that's your response, what planet did you just parachute in from?
Parents, Senator.
Or what country, more appropriately? This is not China.
Parents, Senator, for all due respect, parents absolutely have a say. My parents were immigrants, came to this country. We never checked out books without our parents seeing what books we were reading. They encouraged us to read books.
Mr. Secretary, I understand this is good for your politics back home.
It's got nothing to do with my politics. My bill is passed. My bill is passed.
It has everything to do with your politics.
I'm here to.
But you came here with a problem, and I'm trying to understand the solution, and you don't have one.
We solved the solution.
Other than to tell us that we don't agree with you, you're on the wrong. We'll be on the wrong side of history.
We solved the problem in Illinois. We fixed it. Because we
well, there are others you could work on.
Well, that's why I'm
out
here to
of
help.
time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Hawley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks to the witnesses for being here. I think it's safe to say that all of you are here today because you are opposed to government censorship. Is that right? Have I got that broadly correct? Okay, we can agree on that much. Book banning is a form of government censorship. Is that, broadly speaking, correct? Professor Knox, you're an expert in this. Let me just ask you. Book banning is a problem under the First Amendment because it's the government telling private individuals, authors, what have you, what they can and cannot write, telling the public what they can and cannot read. Is that, broadly speaking, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So now what if the books were digital only? Could the government ban them then? So no hard copies, no physical copies, it's just digital books. Could the government engage in book banning then under the First Amendment? No problem.
No, that's about a format of the particular book, and that really doesn't matter when it comes to whether or not government is banning a book.
Okay, what if the government made a list of authors whose books it wanted banned and also went to all of the publishing houses in America, the government did, and said, do not publish the books by any of these authors or we will punish you? Is that a problem under the First Amendment?
My hope is that the government would not be involved in the decisions of a private company.
Good. I would hope so too, but apparently that is not the case in the United States of America today under this administration, because the hypotheticals I've just given you aren't hypotheticals at all. They've happened, and we know that they are happening. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals just ruled in a case, Missouri versus Biden. I'm sure you're all familiar with this. It's going to go down, I think, as a landmark case in the worst possible way in First Amendment law, because what the Court of Appeals found is that the White House, not just the federal government, but the White House, actively coerced every major social media platform in America. Let me say that again. Every major social media platform in America to ban speech that the White House did not like. What are we talking about here? Well, we're talking about speech on the COVID-19 pandemic, speech on the 2022 congressional elections, speech related to mask mandates, speech related to vaccines. What did the White House do? Well, over a period of years, they met with, on a regular basis, the leaders of social media companies and demanded that the speech they did not like be taken down. They further demanded that these same social media companies amplify the White House's speech. Amazing. So take down all of this speech that we don't like, amplify our own speech. Unbelievable. What kind of speech are we talking about? Well, for example, not just public officials, but parents. Here's an example from my state, the state of Missouri. I'm reading it from the opinion here. One parent who posted on Nixdoor.com, which is a site operated by Facebook, posted an online petition to encourage his school to remain mask optional, found that his posts were removed without notifying him, and his friends never saw them. Another parent in the same school district who objected to mask mandates for school children responded to Dr. Fauci on Twitter and promptly received a warning from Twitter that his account would be banned if he did not delete the tweets criticizing Dr. Fauci's approach to mask mandates. These objections, amazingly, this censorship was taken at the direct behest of the federal government, the direct behest of the Biden administration. Professor Knox, is this a violation of the First Amendment?
Only a judge can make that determination.
And a judge has. I'm glad you said that. Multiple judges. The district court, federal district court, said there was a direct First Amendment violation. Court of Appeals unanimously, 3-judge panel, unanimously said direct First Amendment violation. I can't think of another time in American history when the President of the United States, and I say that advisedly because the record reflects that White House officials were sending emails and communications to these companies saying that the President himself wanted the censorship. So you've got the government doing exactly what Professor Knox said is not permitted under the First Amendment, directly coercing the speech of private parties, and not just one or two authors, but parents all across the country, unprecedented in the history of this nation. So I'm glad we're having this hearing today. I hope that we will have more like it to expose the censorship happening at the highest levels of our government. Mr. Chairman, I'd ask that this opinion, this judgment by the Fifth Circuit, Missouri versus Biden, be entered into the record in full.
Without objection.
I will leave it there. I know there are other Senator Kennedys here who want to ask questions, but I just want to say for the record that this kind of censorship is un-American, it is unconstitutional, and I hope it will go down as a sad chapter in American history that we can close here and now. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Hawley.
Ow.
Biologically, do males have an advantage over females biologically in sports?
Again, I'm not a physician and I can't speak to that.
What's your real world experience?
It depends. I mean, there are some people who are born male that I'm faster than if I were to sprint against them, and some that I'm not. Some males that are taller than some women, and some that are shorter.
You don't believe that a biological male has a physical advantage in sports over a biological female?
Not as a definitive statement.
Give me an example. Well, no, I don't think. How many female members of the NBA do you see?
Well, I can say that, there's been this news article about men that think that they could beat Serena Williams in tennis, right? That they think that they could actually score a point on her. And it's just not the case. She is stronger
but that's,
than that.
What's your experience, Ben?
She's like the best in the world, though.
Both Serena and Venus lost to the 203rd ranked male tennis player, which they're phenoms for women. My experience, my husband he swam at University of Kentucky as well.
She actually did lose? Well, yeah, of course she would lose to a professional male tennis player, but yeah, she's going to beat like the average Joe all day.
Phenoms for women. Serena and Venus lost
they're phenoms.
Ben? Male, female.
Both Serena and Venus lost to the 203rd ranked male tennis player, which they're phenoms for women. My experience, my husband, he swam at University of Kentucky as well. In terms of accolades and in terms of national ranking, I was a much better swimmer than him. He could kick my butt any day of the week without trying.
Okay. Ms. Robinson, I want to follow up by trying to understand your answer to one of Senator Cruz's questions. And this is really a question, not a suggestion. Do I understand your position to be that there are two sexes, but there can be more than two genders?
I wouldn't even say two, and we've got Dr. Lopez here as well, but there's also the definition of intersex. I think that often in these conversations we're conflating sex and gender, and I do want to affirm here that trans women are women. That is their gender.
What are you talking about, Ted?
But I'm trying to understand. Do you make a distinction between sex and gender?
What's going on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Explain that. Just. Do you think there are more than two sexes?
I believe that there's a definition for intersex as well that I want to acknowledge. But sex is assigned at birth.
I'm just trying to understand. I'm thoroughly confused. So you're born. I'm talking about biology.
Ted Thomas.
Male, female, and what else?
I believe that intersex is also acknowledged, but again, I'm not a doctor here. What I can
And what does intersex mean?
is that there's a difference between sex and gender, and I think in these conversations we're conflating the two.
Well, but I want to start with sex. Okay, there's male, there's female. When a baby's born, before the baby has had time to even have a sense of self, there's male, female, and intersex. There's a third sex?
I believe that is true, but I would defer to Dr. Lopez as I'm not a physician.
Okay. And how many genders are there?
I think the gender is expansive, and the definitions are always growing. Today I can tell you, I talk to young people that talk about non-binary as
more than 5.
I think the gender is not a binary, is what I'm trying to say.
Are there more than 5 genders? I'm just trying to understand. Are there more than 5 genders?
Well, I think that there was a time where women wearing pants didn't feel like it was appropriate for their gender, and yet I'm wearing pants today. I think that there are ways that we express our gender that are expansive.
Are there more than 5?
I wouldn't subject myself to naming how many genders there are, but what I can say is that gender is a reflection. Excuse me?
There's an infinite number of genders?
I think depending on your culture, there are a lot of different genders that exist. And I can also say that it's a term that's evolving. If you look at young people today, they really don't lean into the binary of only woman and man. So I think that it's incumbent upon us not to legislate on this, but create space for them to explore what their identities are, what their gender identities are.
Let's get back to athletics. I think I understand what you're saying. There are 3 sexes, male, female, and intersex.
I believe that to be true, but again, I'm not a physician.
And there are an infinite number of genders, because gender is a mental state.
Gender is about expression, and I think that there are a variety of ways that you can express your gender.
Okay, so there's infinite number. All right, let's go back to the biology. Male, female, boy, girl, okay? Biologically, do males have an advantage over females biologically in sports?
Again, I'm not a physician, and I can't speak to that.
What's your real world experience?
It depends. There are some people who are born male that I'm faster than if I were to sprint against them, and some that I'm not. Some males that are taller than some women, and some that are shorter.
You don't believe that a biological male has a physical advantage in sports over a biological female?
Not as a definitive statement.
Give me an example.
Killing me right now.
Well, no, I don't think.
Suspect in custody after allegedly slashing 2 people at Grand Central Terminal. That's where we find Eyewitness News reporter Lindsay Tuckman on this Christmas morning. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Pedro. Yeah, a random and violent and seemingly unprovoked Christmas Eve attack here at one of the busier train stations in the city. We do know that police were quickly able to arrest the suspect, but that suspect also had multiple prior arrests. Here's what we know of what happened yesterday evening. It was around 10:15, according to officials, on a northbound 456 train platform when the 28-year-old suspect approached a 42-year-old man. They got into some sort of argument over what, we don't know at this point, but it was then that he slashed the man in the wrist with a weapon and then ran up nearby stairs. Then, according to officials, on the next level of the train station, he slashed a 26-year-old woman who was standing near a turnstile, and he slashed her in the neck. He then tried to escape, according to the NYPD, heading up an escalator, but other subway riders, witnesses to the incident, were able to point him out to police. He was quickly arrested, and police did find a knife on him. Officials say the 28-year-old has 3 prior arrests for criminal mischief, fair beating, and assaulting a police officer. Now, charges for that suspect at this point, this morning on Christmas morning, are still pending. What we do know, though, is that the 2 victims were taken to a nearby hospital, and they are recovering and expected to be okay. Live outside Grand Central Terminal, Lindsay Tuckman, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Lindsay, thank you so much for that.
This guy's alive.
أيها الذين آمنوا إن تنصروا الله ينصركم ويثبت أقدامكم صدق الله العظيم انتصارا لمظلومية الشعب الفلسطيني ومجاهديه.
Doesn't sound happy. I think they're happy. Very slow day. Yep, I think that's about it, y'all, for Kitty Cam. News is dried up completely. Thank you, Sister. Thanks again for your extremely generous contribution. Keeping the dream alive. Probably come back on later on the other channels. Hope everybody eats something and not mess with you too much. Thanks, yeah, I think I will later. Just so tired now, maybe I need to take a nap. Simon's medicine. Alright then. Thanks everybody for coming through. Happy Christmas, happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Another one. Meow, 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 meow.